The NBA is a business, a global business. But there's one country outside of America that has the league by its balls. Basketballs, that is. Let's take a look at China and the NBA's controversial relationship. I'm Sami Hassan, and you're watching Overlooked. Basketball was introduced to China in the 1950s by missionaries. By 1980s, David Stern wanted to make basketball a global sport. So the NBA would send videotaped games to China to run for free. By 1992, the league opened office in Hong Kong. By 2001, China entered the World Trading Organization, which simplified business with the United States. By 2002, Yao Ming, a Chinese superstar and a marketing unicorn, was drafted and propelled the NBA in China to new levels. Finally, by 2004, the NBA used Yao Ming's popularity to start playing preseason games in China. And by 2007, Yi Jianlian was drafted and ruined all the hype on tall Chinese basketball players. Let's break down two crucial years in the timeline. On December 11, 2001, China became a member of the World Trade Organization, which is the intergovernmental organization that regulates trading between nations. This opened the door to all the shoe companies like Nike, Adidas, and Reebok to go to China, which is now majority endorsement income to players today. A few months later, Yao Ming was drafted number 1 by the Houston Rockets. It not only changed the financial destiny of the NBA, but it also increased the NBA's global footprint. Throughout his career, Yao split his time between China and America, further strengthening that bridge he created. He was a Chinese ambassador and an NBA superstar. The NBA noticed its popularity skyrocketing from day one. On January 7, 2003, rookie Yao Ming faced off against superstar Shaquille O'Neal. That game had 200 million viewers from China. Think about it. The average viewers in America for the NBA Finals that year was 9.9 million. The NBA knew they struck gold. Today, nearly a decade since Yao retired, the NBA remains extremely popular in China. As of October 2019, the NBA has 41 million followers on Weibo, which is China's social media platform, which is far more than the NBA following on Facebook at 38 million and Twitter at 28 million. It's worth noting that Facebook and Twitter are both banned in China. But it's not just China's social media presence that matters, it's their viewership. In 2019, Tencent, a Chinese streaming platform, had 500 million viewers watch NBA games, which is far more than the population of the United States at 330 million people total. The NBA became so popular that Tencent signed a $1.5 billion deal with the NBA, which does impact the players and their salary cap. So what happens when a communist country that doesn't share the same values as America has a controlling interest in the league? While the NBA was too busy collecting their profits when the Nets and Lakers were in China for a preseason game, they were blindsided by a 7-word tweet from Daryl Morey, the general manager of the Houston Rockets, that read, "Fight for freedom, stand with Hong Kong." China took that tweet as a threat to break up China. Despite there being no Twitter in China, that one tweet shook up their world. Chinese consulate asked the Houston Rockets to correct their mistake. Since then, Morey took down his tweet, and the Houston Rockets superstar James Harden went on record apologizing and made sure he said he loved China. So why did China get so upset and threaten to cripple the NBA's global existence? There's a red line that can't be crossed when doing business with China. And those are the 3 T's: Taiwan, Tibet, and Tiananmen. If you cross that line, you'd either be forced to apologize or they'd expel your business in China. An example of this is in 2018, Gap sold a shirt with the map of China on it without Taiwan. That made the Chinese government furious, and Gap had to publicly apologize and promise to stop selling the incomplete map of China. China is oppressing basic human rights, but nobody, including the NBA and their outspoken players, want to do anything about it because it affects their bottom line. While Adam Silver defended Daryl Morey's right for freedom of speech, LeBron was not happy. LeBron said that Morey should have waited at least a week for them to leave China before sending out that tweet. Later, LeBron is quoted saying that Morey was uneducated on the situation, which left a lot of fans who support LeBron James' activism in shock. It's not fair to put the world's problem on LeBron's shoulder. He's doing what he can in his own country, but many people were upset with LeBron James' take on calling Morey uneducated on the situation. So what's LeBron's relationship with China? LeBron is currently making $32 million per year with Nike while being on a $1 billion lifetime deal with them. And Nike's revenue in China surpassed $6 billion per year, and $1.7 billion in the most recent fiscal quarter. So a big portion of LeBron's shoe deal is coming from China. But it's not just LeBron's endorsement deals that could be shaken up by a 7-word tweet. It's the NBA as a whole. A conservative estimate of the NBA revenue from China is about $500 million a year, based on the deals that are publicly known, which is more money than the Knicks and Lakers, who are top 2 in the NBA in revenue. Every year, the salary cap is based on the league-wide revenue. The collective bargaining agreement states that the players receive 50% of the basketball-related income. Commissioner Adam Silver believes the NBA will lose roughly $400 million this year after the Daryl Morey tweet, which means half the money the league loses from China will come out of the salary cap, which will likely lower the players' salaries moving forward. There's no accidents that players like Steph Curry have become mute speaking against oppression of human rights in China. They even fear defending Morey's right of freedom of speech. Under Armour signed Steph Curry to a monster deal that gives him equity stake in the company. Many believe the deal could be worth $14 billion. In 2018, Under Armour had $300 million in sales in China alone. So Steph Curry, an equity stakeholder in a company that's booming in China, basically said no comment when asked about Daryl Morey. Look, China is the economic Goliath and has the NBA on their knees. But China is a country that has a ton of red flags when it comes to basic human rights. While it's not fair to expect American players to deal with global issues, especially since there's a lot to deal with in America, they showed a double standard when one of their own people, Daryl Morey, was under fire for freedom of speech. Morey didn't stand in the middle of a busy street in China and preach democracy. He wrote a 7-word tweet on a social media platform that is banned in China. Instead, one of the biggest social justice activists any sport has ever seen went a step further in calling Morey uneducated, when it was LeBron who didn't care to read up on Hong Kong before criticizing Morey. After all, social justice matters, but the bottom line is, well, the bottom line. Thank you for watching this episode of Overlooked. If you have any topics you'd like me to discuss, comment below. If you liked what you watched, please share and subscribe. Thanks.